Picture this. It's late at night in a downtown office. The glow of a computer screen bounces off the walls, and a man in his 40s leans back in his chair. His suit jacket is crumpled, his coffee's gone cold, and his inbox is still overflowing. He looks around and suddenly realizes he has spent half of his life doing work that never truly excited him. Day after day, year after year, he showed up, got the paycheck, hit the deadlines. But as he sits there, the question hits him like a punch to the chest. Is this it? Is this really all my life is going to be? Now let me ask you. What would your life look like if you woke up every morning genuinely excited about what you do? Not just tolerating your job, not just waiting for Friday, but actually leaping out of bed because the work ahead feels meaningful, alive, and uniquely yours. We live in a time of endless possibilities. Technology connects us, opportunities are everywhere, and you can literally build a career from your laptop. And yet, millions of people still feel trapped, uninspired, or lost. The truth is, without passion, life starts to feel like a never-ending cycle. Wake up, commute, work, repeat. But with passion, everything changes. You stop counting hours, you stop living for the weekend, and you start feeling like your time actually matters. That's why this conversation isn't just about finding something you like. It's about unlocking the fuel that can drive your entire life forward. Because passion is more than a buzzword. It's the difference between existing and truly living. Before we dive into how to find your passion, we need to clear up one of the biggest misconceptions about it. Too often, people confuse passion with a hobby. A hobby is something you enjoy when you have free time. It's relaxing, fun, maybe even creative. But passion is different. Passion is what keeps pulling you back even when it's hard, even when no one's applauding, even when you fail the first, second, or 10th time. Passion is not about ease, it's about energy. It's that fire that refuses to go out, no matter how much wind blows against it. Think about Oprah Winfrey. Broadcasting wasn't just a hobby for her, it was her calling. She faced poverty, setbacks, and rejection, but the deeper she went into storytelling, the more unstoppable she became. Or Steve Jobs. Technology wasn't just something he liked to tinker with in his garage. It was a vision that consumed him, a drive so strong it reshaped entire industries. And Elon Musk. Whether you love him or criticize him, his obsession with space travel and sustainable energy isn't casual interest. It's passion that pushes him to work 100-hour weeks, to risk ridicule, and to keep going despite failures. The truth is, passion isn't always glamorous. It doesn't mean you'll feel happy every moment. But it does mean that the pursuit itself gives you meaning. Passion doesn't disappear when things get tough, it grows stronger. And once you understand that difference, you stop chasing what's comfortable and start searching for what sets your soul on fire. If passion is so powerful, then why do so many people struggle to find it? The truth is, the road to passion is often blocked by invisible walls that we don't even realize are holding us back. From the time we're kids, society and family start laying out a script for us. Go to school, get good grades, pick a safe major, land a stable job, climb the ladder, retire. It's a well-worn path, but it's not necessarily your path. And yet, so many people follow it because it feels secure, even if it slowly drains them of energy and joy. Then there's fear, the silent killer of passion. Fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of letting people down. How many dreams have died in the minds of people who were too afraid to even try? It's easier to convince ourselves to stay put, to play it safe, than to step into the unknown. Change is uncomfortable, and passion always demands change. And if fear weren't enough, there's the problem of too many choices. In today's world, you could be anything. A software engineer, a YouTuber, a chef, a pilot, an entrepreneur, an artist, or 1,000 other things. The sheer volume of options can paralyze us. We scroll through success stories online and feel overwhelmed, as if passion is a prize everyone else has already won while we're still standing at the starting line. Consider the story of a brilliant finance student. He landed a prestigious job straight out of college, earned a six-figure salary, wore tailored suits, and checked all the boxes of success. From the outside, he had everything people dream about. But 10 years in, he woke up every day with a pit in his stomach. The spreadsheets, the boardrooms, the endless grind, none of it lit him up. He realized he had built a career that looked good but felt empty. And yet, walking away seemed terrifying, because what would people think? What if he failed? This is the reality for countless people. The weight of expectations, the grip of fear, and the paralysis of endless options. These obstacles keep us stuck, staring out of windows and wondering if life was meant to be more than this. The good news is, there is a way through. And once you recognize these barriers, you can begin to break them down and move toward the passion you were meant to live. So how do you actually find your passion? It's not about sitting in a coffee shop waiting for lightning to strike. Passion doesn't fall into your lap, it's discovered, uncovered, and built. And the first place to look is backward. Think about your childhood. Before bills, before responsibilities, before society told you what was practical. What did you love so much that you lost track of time? Maybe it was drawing superheroes on the margins of your notebooks. Maybe it was fixing gadgets around the house. Maybe it was writing stories no one ever read. Those moments are not accidents, they are clues. I once met a man who used to sketch for hours as a kid. Life pulled him into a corporate career, but years later, burned out and exhausted, he picked up a pencil again. Today, he's a full-time illustrator with clients around the world. Sometimes the things we loved when we were young are exactly what we were meant to carry into adulthood. But passion isn't just about nostalgia, it's about listening to yourself right now. Pay attention to when you feel most alive. When are you in the zone, so immersed that hours disappear like minutes? And when do you feel drained, like even 5 minutes feels like an eternity? Your energy is a compass. It points you toward what lights you up and away from what empties you. The tricky part is that we often ignore these signals. We tell ourselves to push through, to be responsible. But passion thrives where energy flows. And here's the catch. You won't find your passion by thinking about it forever. You find it by doing. Experiment, test, put yourself out there. Take that weekend workshop. Volunteer for a project. Try a side hustle. Passion grows through experience, not daydreams. Imagine someone who thinks they might love cooking but never actually steps into the kitchen. How would they know? Action is the lab where passion is proven. Still, passion alone is not enough. It has to connect with something deeper, your values. What do you believe in? What matters to you? A person who loves technology but cares deeply about helping people might find fulfillment not in building the next social media app, but in creating tools that change lives, apps for education, healthcare, or community. Passion that aligns with your values becomes fuel you never run out of, because it's tied to something bigger than yourself. And finally, real passion lives at the intersection. It's the sweet spot where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what people will pay for all meet. The Japanese call this ikigai, a reason for being. When you operate in that space, life feels aligned. You're not just doing something enjoyable, you're doing something sustainable, something that matters, something that gives back as much as it takes. Finding passion is not about one magical answer. It's about piecing together these clues, your past joys, your present energy, your experiments, your values, and your unique intersection. When you weave them together, you begin to see a picture emerge. Not a fantasy, but a path. And the moment you step onto it, everything changes. Life stops being a checklist and starts becoming a calling. Sometimes the best way to understand passion is through the stories of people who dared to chase it. I once met a woman who had spent nearly a decade working in a corporate law firm. On paper, she was a success. A corner office, a six-figure salary, the admiration of her peers. But inside, she felt like she was suffocating. Every morning she dragged herself to the office, every night she came home exhausted, and she couldn't escape the nagging thought that this wasn't the life she was meant to live. When she finally admitted to herself that her true love was writing, her entire world turned upside down. She left her job, and almost immediately the criticism poured in. family members warning her she was throwing her life away, friends shaking their heads at the crazy risk. The first year was brutal. Rejection letters piled up, her savings drained, and there were moments she almost gave up. But little by little, her voice found an audience. Today, she's a published author whose books touched thousands of lives. The struggle was real, but so was the reward. Stories like hers remind us that passion isn't a smooth, golden path. It's rocky, uncertain, and often terrifying. But that's what makes it worth it. Think of Howard Schultz, who grew up in a poor Brooklyn neighborhood, yet believed so deeply in his vision of creating a space for people to connect over coffee that he poured himself into building Starbucks. Or J.K. Rowling, who wrote in cafes as a single mother, rejected by publisher after publisher before Harry Potter changed the world. Or Steve Jobs, who was famously fired from the very company he created, only to come back years later and revolutionize technology. These stories are not fairy tales. They are proof that passion is never handed to you. It's fought for. The pattern is clear. Passion will test you. It will demand sacrifice, it will invite criticism, and it will almost certainly push you to your limits. But those who persist discover a truth that makes every sleepless night and every ounce of doubt worth it. Living with passion is infinitely better than living without it. Because when you finally find the work that makes you come alive, you don't just change your own life. You have the power to inspire others, to create something lasting, to leave a mark on the world. And that, in the end, is why the journey is worth every step. By now, passion might sound like this epic, life-changing force, and it is. But here's the secret. Finding it doesn't always start with giant leaps. It often begins with small, almost invisible steps. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow, sell everything you own, and move across the country to chase a dream. In fact, doing that is often the fastest way to burn out. Instead, start small. Carve out an hour a week to explore something that excites you. Write in the mornings before work. Take that online class at night. Volunteer on the weekends. Passion doesn't require you to flip your life upside down in one moment. It asks you to begin, even in the tiniest way. Another powerful tool is keeping a passion journal. Every day, jot down what made you feel alive and what drained you. Over time, patterns emerge, and those patterns are gold. They reveal where your true interests live and where you might want to explore deeper. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but awareness is the first spark of passion. And don't do it alone. Surround yourself with people who are already living with passion. Find mentors, communities, or even online groups filled with people chasing dreams. Passion is contagious. Being around those who are on fire for what they do will inspire you to keep going, especially on the days when you feel stuck or doubtful. Most importantly, give yourself permission to experiment without expecting perfection. You don't have to know your passion in one big revelation. You just have to be curious enough to try, courageous enough to keep going, and patient enough to let the journey unfold. Because passion isn't discovered in theory. It's discovered in practice, step by step, choice by choice, day by day. Now, take a deep breath and picture yourself 5 years from today. Imagine waking up in the morning with energy, not dread. Imagine stepping into your workday not with heaviness, but with fire in your heart, knowing that what you're doing is not just paying the bills, but feeding your soul. Picture the confidence, the pride, the joy of knowing you are living in alignment with who you truly are. That's not a fantasy. That's not something reserved for a chosen few. That can be your reality. Finding your passion is not some distant, unreachable dream. It's a journey that starts the moment you choose to stop living on autopilot. It's the decision to ask yourself better questions, to dare to try new things, and to listen deeply to the voice inside you that whispers, "This is it. This is what lights me up." You don't have to figure it all out today. You don't have to have a perfect plan. What you need is the courage to take the first step, however small it may be. Because passion isn't about waiting for permission. It's about granting yourself the freedom to explore, to stumble, to learn, and to grow. So don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait for the world to give you a sign. The moment is now. The permission is already yours. Start exploring your passion today. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Today. And who knows? That single decision might just change the entire trajectory of your life.